Ted Seifried. He's with Zaner Ag Hedge. He's in Chicago, I think. Yeah, there he is. Ted, thanks for coming on. What do you got for us? Is anything going on to you?
There's basketball, Scott. We're getting ready for that.
There we go.
No, it feels like everybody got their trading done in the night session, and now we're just sitting. But don't sleep on what's happening today, right? You had the corn poke its head above the 50-day moving average. We've all been waiting for, but then we've slumped down below it now, and it kind of feels like we're really struggling to hold on to unchanged right now. So you don't like the price action that we're seeing right now, albeit very subdued action, because it does feel like this is sort of a holiday trade type scenario. And then soybeans, very similar to what we saw early last week. We're sharply higher, and then we give back all the gains. Now we're trading lower on the day, down 3 cents. That's not a good look, right? This is now the second failed breakout that we've seen. It's a long day yet, Scott. We could regain that strength and close up near the highs, and everything will look all warm and fuzzy again. But if that doesn't happen, this is not a really very good look here for the soybean chart. So we'll have to see how and if we really trade much for the balance of the day. I don't know. We had export sales and they were fine. Well, I mean, the wheat ones were negative, but we knew that. We should have seen that coming. I don't think that's a surprise for the market. And actually, wheat's higher on the day. But you look at corn sales and soybean sales, they're very similar to what we've been seeing in previous weeks. Not a big influence in one direction or another. I saw it on Twitter, somebody saying, a couple of people saying that, hey, our soybean sales are still good in a window, when we're moving past our window. And that's not actually true. We still have a few more weeks where we should be the dominant force in soybean sales. There should be good numbers here for the next few weeks. It takes a while for the Brazilians to get product to port. There's almost always some sort of trucker strike, port strike, muddy roads, always logistical issues with Brazil. So we should still have a few more weeks of this, but it wasn't a fantastic week by any means. It was a 2-week high. It's nice to see those numbers, but it'd be great to see some bigger numbers.
I agree. All right. Great stuff as usual. Stay right there. We're going to go away. We're going to pay some bills. We're going to come back and talk more with Ted Seifried. He's with Zaner Ag Hedge. We'll be right back after this. Ted Seifried, our guest analyst, who's been waiting in the wings. Anything jump out of you there when we talk about those livestock prices, Ted?
Well, to your point, it's nice to see that higher trade in live cattle in a pretty decent range. But, Scott, it's just we're up, we're down, we're up, we're down. And at the end of the day, we always kind of end up, sideways, right? That April live cattle's had about a range between 186 and 190, so $4 range. Yeah. We've traversed half of that here today. But man, we've been in this very, very tight range since the beginning of February. The one thing I will say is that if we close here, it'll be the second highest close that we have seen since October. But again, long day, not sure what'll happen. Kind of feels like we'll just kind of sink back down, maybe close higher on the day, but really just entrenched in this range up here. And it's a much better price than what we were seeing at the end of or beginning of December. We are well off our lows. We're still well off our highs. We've just seemed to find this sort of fair value spot for the live cattle for the time being. And someday, Scott, we will break out. We will move out of that range.
Someday.
But I'm not sure what it's going to take to do that, and I'm not sure when that happens.
Well, I mean, I agree with you. We've got a lot of things that we're kind of waiting to see what's going to happen. I think things are coiling up here a little bit, and I don't think it helped yesterday from the Fed to coil things up a little bit more. I mean, we've got a lot of danger signs out there at the same time. We've got maybe a stumbling consumer. I mean, there's enough for me to worry about, and we've got everybody blissfully whistling by the graveyard. So we'll see. I think it's going to be a fun year to talk about stuff. I guarantee you that. All right. Thanks for coming on. That's Ted Seifried. He's with Zaner Ag Hedge. I'm going to bring this one back to myself and Tammy and say good morning.